Welcome everybody, it's Lewpac here with another Albion Online video for you today. We're going to be taking a look at one of the world bosses of Albion named Old White. Old White is a giant mammoth boss. He is the leather resource boss as well. So killing him is very valuable for your leather gatherers, particularly those who are looking to level up very quickly. Of all of the resource bosses, Old White is actually one of the most popular and one of the most contested, because not only does he offer a large amount of leather, 2,560 tier 6 leather to be precise, before gathering bonuses, he also drops a guaranteed 1 to 3 mammoth pups, which are very valuable, around 4 million silver each, looking at the auction house today. So one of the things to remember about the resource bosses as well is when you harvest them, they actually harvest 10 at a time instead of 1 at a time for the resource. So instead of getting 45 fame per hit, you're getting 450 fame per hit. A double gathering bonus will give you a whopping 900 fame. And if you're lucky enough and high level enough to get a triple gathering bonus, you'll be getting 1,350 fame per hit on the mammoth. So as you can imagine, high level gatherers will get a lot of resources out of this. So first we'll talk about where you can find Old White. So there are 4 locations in the world where you can get it. You can get it in Charhide Steppe in Anglia, Seer Slab Steppe also in Anglia. Over in Cumbria, he spawns in Deathmarch Expanse. And if you're based on the Royal Continent, you're going to have to look for Dead Vein Gully. Now, if you look at the map, you can see that there's a central hide area. It's like a pit full of rhinos, and Old White will be wandering around the pit when he spawns. All world bosses spawn 48 hours after they were last killed, so you're going to have to keep checking for him if you don't know the timer. But once you've killed the boss, you'll know when the respawn is, so that gives you a little bit of an edge. Obviously, watch out for enemy scouts, watch out for people who also know the timer, because they might be preparing to contest it. Like I said, in my opinion, Old White is the most contested of all of the resource bosses due to those mammoth drops, and also due to people wanting to level skinning. Skinning's probably one of the tougher gathering professions to level, because you have to kill the things before you skin them for the most part. So yeah, expect resistance if anybody knows about the spawn. So onto the abilities. How do you fight Old White? Well, firstly, I recommend a tank using an Incubus Mace for the Shrink ability. That will reduce his damage and reduce his HP pool for the duration of the Shrink, and that will help you take him down. A few other things you definitely want to bring are plenty of poison potions on your DPS, 1 or 2 Knight's helmets, particularly one on the tank. And we'll discuss the abilities in a second to tell you why you need those Knight helmets. And it's worth noting that because Old White is a hide mob, he drops leather, he also counts when it comes to the hide poison on skinning gear. So the Skinner's chest piece has a very special ability that only affects animals. Old White is affected by this, so your highest level Skinner present when you're killing Old White will want to wear a skinning chest piece and keep that hide poison, because over the duration of the fight, that hide poison does so much damage. It really helps the encounter. Other than that, lots of single target DPS, pretty much all ranged. You might want to have 1 melee. I like to play a melee like Bloodletter or something, so that I can dash to the tank and give him Knight's helmets during the big knockbacks, which we'll talk about in a sec. But mainly like ranged single target DPS, lots of armor debuffs, lots of poison potions. And obviously, it's quite a long fight, with Old White having a large health pool of 904,000 hit points. So you're going to want plenty of sustain as well, whether you're running energetic on those weapons, and you have druid cows to keep everybody with plenty of energy. It can be done by any size squad. I mean, in theory, you could take Old White down with 4 guys if you want. He's not terrifically difficult once you know the mechanics, but it will take you quite a while. I think you're allowed up to 10. Any more than 10 players will start to enrage Old White. So make him tougher and make him harder to kill. So 10 is the maximum. And obviously you want to bring some skinners to skin him when he goes down, and you're going to want to bring some oxes or other large carry capacity mounts so that you can get all the leather out of there once you finish him. So Old White's fight is fairly simple. He does a big frontal cleaving auto attack. So your tank needs to keep him faced away from the rest of the team at all times. The tank should be the only one getting hit by this. His auto attack hits moderately hard on a tank, but if it hits somebody in cloth, they're definitely going to know about it. So keep him away from your team at all times. Next up is his first ability, where he does a big he does like a big stampede of spirit animals in a forward motion. Again, this is going to be directed at the tank, which is another reason to point him away from your people. It will knock back the tank and do a lot of damage, but the animation is fairly obvious. So what you need to do is when you see him charging up for the spirit stampede, your tank just needs to sidestep so that it misses him, and then quickly dart back into his original position. His abilities aren't interruptible, so you just simply have to dodge them. But again, should he accidentally drop aggro and face your team and hit them with a stampede, it's definitely going to hurt. His final ability is a big AoE ground stomp. So he does this around every 24 seconds after you reach a certain point in the encounter. I think it's roughly around then. It's slightly longer than a Knight's Helm cooldown, or slightly quicker than a Knight's Helm cooldown, which is very important because this is a big AoE knockback. So when he charges this up, everybody needs to back off, including the tank. Now, if you get knocked back by this ability, it actually resets your aggro. So as you can imagine, if the tank gets knocked back by it, it's a big problem, because then Old White will charge into your raid, and as we've discussed, he's got a lot of AoE frontal attacks. So if he starts hitting your DPS and then cleaving everybody, you can wipe very, very quickly. Because this is a displacement, using a Knight's Helm displacement immunity ability, you can actually completely ignore this. So the tank should always be running a Knight's Helm, and he will be able to ignore the first knockback. However, the second knockback will be slightly earlier than his Knight's Helm, which is a bit of a pain. So what I like to do is, you've got two options. Either the tank runs something like Snare Charge so that he can quickly leap away from Old White and get out of range, and then he comes back in, and that means he doesn't lose his aggro because he's not reset. Or if I'm playing a Bloodletter as one of the melees, what I like to do is run a Knight's Helm as well. When I see the ability coming the second time, I will dash to my tank using my W dash ability, pop the Knight's Helm on both of us, and we can ignore the knockback. Now, then when it comes up again, the tank should have his own Knight's Helm ready, and rinse and repeat. As long as you've got two Knight Helms and you communicate with each other, you can pretty much ignore the second ability. Other than that, just tank and spank, dodge those abilities we talked about, bring him down, and enjoy the leather. You'll see here a little video of me and the boys taking him down the other day. I hope you enjoy.
It's at 30%. Just keep the poison pots up and we'll be good. Beer trapping.
And we join like for the thing when you're finishing it? Just for one hit?
No one skins it until people are ready.
Don't hit it. Do not hit it. Just be near enough.
Yeah.
You don't need to.
Don't challenge him right now, for now. I didn't talk with much.
Just tell me when you're close to doing it.
It's at 25,000 HP. Okay, keep the poisons up. We have trying, it's dumping.
If you're full HP, it's not bad to eat the stomp because it resets your aggro as well. On the ones where the tank might eat. My poison. I wish poison pots didn't have the same icon as me.
It's dumping.
You guys are clubbing now.
should be fine. The boss has
It's
Stop
70
1
one.
o'clock. It could be now.
That's
It's
right,
close to
perfect.
it now. Okay, you can move close now. Just don't attack.
I forgot to bring a skinning knife. Feels bad. Is that fine if I relog to my gatherer? I have him there. Who got the pup?
It's not dead yet.
It didn't drop yet.
Oh.
It's dropping in
Drop,
3
guys.
seconds. 2, 1.
Got a tome.
Only one
Okay,
pump.
don't skin it until people are ready. Everyone that wants to skin should be ready.
Yeah, get your stacks up.
You get it.
Sweet.
So, as you can see, guys, once Old White goes down, your skinners can get to work. He drops between 1 to 3 mammoth pups, which are very, very valuable. He also tends to drop a few tomes for people in the raid, and then he has an almighty 2,560 leather inside him. So your skinners will get to work, and you're going to need some hefty transport to get out of there. I mean, it's not uncommon for people to come out of there with 5,000 plus tier 6 leather in one go. I mean, high level gatherers would probably hit around 6,000 because they'll be getting triple procs quite often if their spec is high enough. So you're going to need to get your stuff out there. Don't forget to escort your guys on the way through the dangerous zones till they can get their resources to safety. Anyway, hope you guys have enjoyed this video about Old White, one of the world bosses of Albion Online. I'll be back with more videos soon, but don't forget to like and subscribe the channel, and you can leave a comment below with any videos you'd like to see in the future. I just want to give a special thanks to all of you guys who are supporting the stream with Twitch, Twitch Prime and Patreon, because you guys are the best, really helping the channel exist. Right, thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you soon.